Hello my lovelies, today we will read This Hyper Whirl by Tora Likes Puppies. Chapter 5, Interlude 1, A Spider and a New Friend. 1 month after Tony announced he was Iron Man. Dad announcing he was Iron Man was such a Tony Stark move. What I didn't expect was the fact that he also announced that he had a son, which was when Mr. Coulson and Miss Rushman had quickly got me out of the room. Online, there were speculations about me everywhere. I was a bit overwhelmed at the idea. There was no pictures of me online anywhere, thankfully, save for the very blurry photos from when I was with Dad when he first got back, or at the charity event. Basically, all that was announced was the fact that I exist, which was weird. Happy started to bring me in through the garage at the Malibu house. It was certainly a change. I got my own Wikipedia page. It was basically empty, save from what was known about me. A speculation on my age, around 7 to 10, and that's it. Dad avoided talking about me at anything public. He'd deflect with random facts about SI instead. Like that SI had started looking into upgrading the arc reactor's foot or something. One thing he did was make a non-profit foundation. He named it the Mary Stark Foundation, which was something he wanted to do for a long time apparently. He talked about Mom finally. Her name was Mary Teresa Parker. She was a well-respected scientist studying cancer, in hopes of finding a cure. He didn't know much about her, but that she was a lead researcher in the field. He wanted to speak with her again, but she had always declined. He didn't know why till, well, I was born. According to the doctors, she said if anything happened, to call the father. That's how he found out, because she died giving birth to me. What happened? Complications. They had to perform an emergency C-section. She had asthma, like you do. During labor, she started having an attack. They tried to save her, save the both of you, but listen, Bambino, don't blame yourself for this. It's just a thing that happens, okay? Okay, I sniffled as he pulled me into a hug. You have her eyes. You've said, I smiled. I know. He kissed the top of my head. Tell you what, there's this guy. He asked for some input on some stuff. I figured I'd go and see what's up. What's his name? Well, you may have heard of him. It's Bruce Banner. Oh my god, you're meeting Bruce Banner? We, Bambino, we are going to meet him. Yes, I cheered. I have questions for him. I was trying to replicate the experiment he did in his Princeton paper. I said it quickly. Of course, you can ask him soon. We leave in the morning. We'll be gone for a week. What about school? I frowned. You're going on a vacation that's been planned for a few months, he lied. School knows who I am, remember? And they can't say anything or I'll sue them so hard they will have to demolish the school. Please don't demolish the school. Fine, but the entire faculty. Dad, okay. He relented. Let's go pack. Okay. The lab was amazing. I was looking around in awe. Dad ruffled my hair. I attempted to duck out of the way when he suddenly scooped me up and into his arms. I giggled a bit as he brought me over to someone hunched over looking into a microscope. Dr. Banner. I gasped when I saw him. Dad cleared his throat. He turned around suddenly, holding a hand to his chest. Oh my god, he breathed out. breathed out. Sorry, I didn't hear you come in. Your assistant said you'd say that. Sorry, nice to finally meet you, Dr. Stark. He held out his hand to shake. The pleasure is all mine, Dr. Banner. Dad shook his hand back. This is my son. You are among the very few to know his face and name. Nice to meet you. Dr. Banner, I said excitedly. Do you use the dual-core spectral analysis method to study adaptive biointerfaces in stress-reactive environments, or did you swap for something else? Oh no, Dad mumbled. What? The paper came out a few months ago. It was so cool. I was reading it. Dad complained about it to Aunt Pepper for a few weeks. I convinced him to let me try it eventually. I smiled. I'm impressed you understood it. What did you say your name was? Peter, Dad answered. He had questions. I was hoping he would wait till after introductions. Sorry, I apologized. What are you working on now? Oh, well, I was working on some spiders over here. He walked over to a terrarium. I was attempting to merge all sorts of spiders into one. Right now, this is the only one. The rest didn't exactly survive. So cool, I whispered as I stared at it. Yeah, don't get too close, it's radioactive. What? Dad turned to look at him. Awesome, I said at the same time Dad said what. Yeah, the radiation turned out to help him. I don't know. Survive? I blasted the eggs with some varying radiations. This one is the only one to hatch, he explained. It's very interesting, but unfortunately right now the spider isn't much more than a side hobby. I managed to extract some venom and got it analyzed right now, but my main work is, well, I show you, he said, leading us away. It's an attempt at recreating the super soldier serum, Dad said, observing the machine. Yes, the formula I think is close, but I mostly requested your help building the chamber, Dr. Banner explained. Your father worked with the original creator of the formula to build the chamber, so I figured I'd ask you to help. If you don't want to, I understand, of course. Well, why not? I always sort of stood in Steve's shadow growing up. Dad always compared me to him. No idea why. I'm sorry to hear that, mister. Please, call me Tony, Dad interrupted. Kiddo, don't wander off, please. He called me. I nodded and sat down on the office chair nearby. They stopped working on the machine for a bit, eventually stopping as Dad yelped out, putting his hand back. You okay? Dad? Yeah, sorry, I cut my hand on part of the machine. Sorry, he said quickly. That looks bad, Dr. Banner examined it. I'm getting a first aid kit. Stay here. He started walking off. Peter, toss me that hand towel, will you? He gestured towards the towel next to me. I did as he asked, and he wrapped his hand with it to stop the bleeding for now. I heard Dr. Banner coming to examine the hand. He cleaned it and wrapped it quickly. It will need stitches, he stated. Right, he said, getting up. Very sorry I couldn't work on this more. It's fine. I don't think I'll need you again anytime soon. You go get that checked out, alright? Dr. Banner instructed. Come on, kiddo, he said quickly. I followed him, but slipped on something on the ground, catching myself on something before. That something fell over too, glass shattering around me. Peter, Dad yelled out. Ow! I groaned as he helped me up. I felt a sharp pain on my left hand. Ow! I yelled loudly, holding my hand up. I stared in horror to see the spider from the terrarium on my hand, clearly having just bit me. Bruce! Dad yelled out, before knocking the spider off, placing it quickly in a jar, sealing it shut. What? Are you okay? He said, running over. Please tell me that venom over there, that venom is almost done being analyzed. The spider Shit! Come with me. Dad scooped me up and we followed him. Dad, I said quietly, I don't feel so good. Stay with me, Peter. Pete, I woke up with a headache, more like a body ache. Everything hurts. Like my body is on fire. I opened my eyes to see a blinding light. I could hear a heartbeat monitor and other varying machines nearby. I attempted to sit up, but before being gently pushed back down. Not yet, Underoos. That's why I spoke softly. Let Dr. Banner know he's awake, he said to someone else. The door was open and closed. Dad? I asked, my voice hoarse and sitting up. Hey, Bambino, you scared us pretty bad. He handed me some water. Sorry, I said after taking a sip. It's fine. Bruce mostly is relieved you're okay. The venom should have killed you if the spider actually had a decent amount at the time. What happened anyway? The spider? Bruce recently extracted the venom, so it wasn't much used. Otherwise it would have killed you. At least the normal amount would have. You got about a quarter of it instead. You've been asleep for 2 days and you've been improving every day, Dr. Banner interrupted. What does that mean? Means, well, the venom of any animal tends to attack the DNA and alter it. This leads to the after effects. Not to mention it's normally combined with other deadly things, like neurotoxins and stuff, as seen in most spiders in Australia. This attacked your DNA too, but in a way I could have never imagined. I stared at him as he explained, and my confused face led him to explaining more. It's cured your asthma, and by the looks of things, your eyesight too. I touched my hands to my face. My glasses were missing. Weird. Cured his asthma? Yes, look here. He pointed towards the screen, keeping track of everything going on. Your lungs are showing no signs of asthma, like you've never had it. Awesome, I whispered. One last thing to worry about. Dad breathed out. Of course, there's one thing that worries me. What? His DNA is constantly evolving. The sample I had to examine changed notably in the first 15 minutes. Upon further investigation, it's been doing that constantly, not to mention his blood is radioactive now. Cool. So keep him out of hospitals. That's probably a good idea. I can check on him again in a few months if you'd like. Yes, please, Dad nodded. What about the spider? I wondered out loud. Dad looked over at Dr. Banner. I killed it. Sorry, Peter. I didn't want it to hurt anyone else. I did it after you became stable, he explained. I kind of wished I didn't now. Examining the venom and possible side effects would have been handy. Okay, I frowned. When can I go home? You seem perfectly healthy now, so your dad can take you home. Here's my number in case anything happens, he said, handing Dad a card. Thank you, Bruce. See you again sometime? That'd be nice. Maybe I'll be a super soldier by then, he smiled. In 2 months there were no observed changes, except an increase appetite, except an increased appetite. Other than that, nothing. Dad was invited to some science gala, the same one he's been invited to every year. He never let me go with him, except this year. I got to go. I was excited. But Dad said he didn't want the public to see me, so he would just have me arrive as a random guest kid. He didn't bribe the venue security, so he says. But when I entered, they just let me pass with no questions asked. I knew he lied about that. I wandered around, slightly bored, before settling on just standing near one of the snack bars. I grabbed a plate and sort of stood nearby, leaning against the wall. "Never see you before," another kid said as he approached me. I looked up at him. He had some auburn blonde hair, like the two colors combined into one, reminding me of Aunt Peppa a bit. He wore a dark green suit that screamed rich snob, but the way he carried himself suggested otherwise. He was a little pale, but not sickly pale. He was just kid. Your eyes are beautiful," he observed when he got closer. I blushed a bit. "My mother's," I said, a bit flustered. "You are?" Harry Osborn," he said, extending his hand to shake. "Osborn," I muttered to myself, as I shook his hand. "That sounds familiar." "Well, my dad is Norman Osborn, CEO of Oscorp." He shrugged. "Dad in blood only. He hardly shows up at the penthouse," he said, a bit confused at the end. "Either way, he's basically gone, constantly getting milk or whatever CEOs do these days." I snorted. "Well, mine went to go get some for 3 months. "Oh, sorry about that." "Oh no, you misunderstand. He was kidnapped." I waved him off. He looked up at me in surprise. "You're the mysterious son," he said in awe. "I was wondering if you'd show up at all." "He doesn't want the public to know about me." I shrugged. "It's fine. I like getting to pretend to be a normal kid." "Lucky you got the choice to," he said, leaning against the wall with me. "So your name?" "Peter." "Stark to my family and friends, Parker to strangers." "Well, Peter Parker, nice to meet you." "You can call me Peter Stark if you'd like," I blushed. "Yeah, but I'd totally blow your cover if I did. That is, if we ever end up talking in public. Pretty sure my dad and yours are like rivals or something dumb." "Well, I guess we just have to not talk in public then," I suggested. Harry turned to stare at me wide-eyed. "What?" "Oh, you meant like, never mind," he said, turning away, his face slightly red. I stared at him, confused. "Give me your phone," I said quickly. He did. After unlocking it, I entered my phone number. "There, now we can talk and our dads don't have to know." Harry looked at his new contact, Peter S. Parker. "S? Really?" he sighed. I couldn't think of something else. I defended myself. "Well, you don't. Why not your actual middle initial?" He rolled his eyes. "Well, then it'd be B, at least for that name." I shrugged. "B? Benjamin, he's my mom's brother." "They don't know about me. I was hoping to meet them someday." "I hope you do. Keep in touch, Parker." He smiled and walked away. I opened my phone to text Jarvis, who was installed on my phone. Uncle J. "Don't tell Dad about him." "About you meeting Harry Osborn?" "Yes, please. He seems nice. We'll refrain from telling Mr. Stark until you wish to tell him yourself." "Thanks, Uncle J." "Of course, Peter." Heart emoji. I noticed that he edited the message, changing Harry Osborn to redacted, which makes me smile. I mingle around for another 15 minutes before Happy texts me to head out back to get picked up. I saw Harry staring at me from across the way as I left. I waved slightly at him before leaving, a smile on my face. And that was chapter 5. I hope you liked it, and I will see you with chapter 6. Bye bye.